Move them. Move, you cunt. So it's happened. Moggy and Farage on GB News together. Now don't worry, I've watched it, so you don't have to. So we start off with the traditional grounding of the posh toff, just to make sure that you know, although he looks like a posh twat, he's really just like you and me.
Joining me tonight on Talking Pints is the leader of the House of Commons, Jacob Rees Mogg, Conservative Member of Parliament for North East Somerset. And I have to say, Jacob, welcome to GB News.
Thank you.
Now, normally we provide drinks, whatever drinks the guest wants, and we provide them, and it can be a beer or it can be a glass of wine or a cup of tea or whatever it may be. But you have brought the drinks in for us. Just tell us what we've got here, please.
Well, we've got the cider that I make at home. So these are Rees Mogg apples that my children...
Well, I like cider, and my mate John likes cider as well. And he makes his own cider, so he must be all right.
Let's just begin with a great passion of yours, because I did bump into you briefly last Friday, because like you, I'm a cricket nut, and I love the Test game, I love the 5-day game. And I think when we met on Friday, we thought, well, England are battling back.
Don't walk in front of me, man. Don't do it. There we go. So, yeah, a little bit of a cricket mention there. Football probably would have been better, but cricket's fine. I mean, it's a sport. It'll do. So with that out of the way, we now know that although they look like posh twats, really, they're just like you and me, because they drink cider and they watch cricket. So let's get on to the bit where they tell us that Brexit is all right. It's not actually that bad as you thought it might be. So don't worry about it.
Well, it's all back to the Brexit referendum, and you know, you and I are very much on the same side on that, and I think, you know, both emotionally involved in that. We believed in it with all our heart and soul. I was unhappy. We didn't fall out, but I was unhappy that she, in the end, voted for Mrs May's dreadful deal. But I'm not going to have a punch-up over that with you today.
Well, we got there in the end, and we've got a
we've
new
discussed
leader.
that before. I mean, that's the point. I mean, thank goodness we got rid of Mrs May, and I like to think I played a bit of a hand in that. And we've got Boris and we've got Brexit done. It's not perfect. You know, the fishermen are angry, really angry. And if you drove from your constituency an hour and a half, 2 hours southwest to Brixham Market, or I recommend you don't at the moment, they really are jolly angry about it, the way it's worked out.
So this is your advice then, is it, Nigel? Just ignore them. Just don't go and see them. You know, not how can we help these fishermen, what can we do to get their jobs back. Just ignore them. Just don't go and see them. These people that you promised the world to 12 months ago.
Protests all around the country. We're in Whitstable now, but it's been in Newcastle, it's been in Milford Haven, it's been in Plymouth, Hastings, you name it. And you know, the fact is, Brexit was about taking back our sovereignty, which means our territorial borders, and the government are saying, for the transition period, we're going to stay part of the CFP. That's a disaster for the commercial fishing industry, for the angling industry, and I wonder, in a harbour like this, another 2 years of EU rules, just how many of these people will still be in business? So the time to protest is now.
So what are these fishermen doing now then, Nige? These guys that you rallied up, promised the world to, and I quote, I wonder what another 2 years of EU rule will do to these poor fishermen. Well, let's take a look at what a few months of British rule has done for these fishermen.
EU has stopped British fishermen from selling oysters, mussels, clams and scallops to member states. It's a devastating blow for Tim, who's been doing this for 50 years.
If I never had a bit of money in the bank and my wife wasn't working, I think we'd be out of an house, you know.
It's that serious since Brexit?
Yeah. There's people in here who's turned to drink because of the strength of this. Don't know where to go, what to do, how to pay their bills.
These are real people Nigel. These are real people with mortgages and bills to pay and families to bring up. What have you got to say? How long do you think the industry can go on without selling fish? It's going to collapse, it's going to completely die. So when are you finally going to admit that actually, instead of saving the fishing industry, you've completely destroyed it? Just admit it. But no, you just want to talk about cider and cricket. Anyway, back to Moggy and Nige.
We finished up with Northern Ireland. It's been effectively annexed. What are we going to do, Jacob, to sort that out? Is the will there? I hear Lord Frost, who I think did a jolly good job as negotiator, and I hear him saying tough things. Are we going to sort out Northern Ireland? Because if we don't, I do fear the knock-on for the rest of the Union's quite significant.
Northern Ireland is a fundamental part of our country. Northern Ireland is as much part of our country
But it was.
as Somerset. No, it
was.
It still is. And you cannot allow the European Union to extract Northern Ireland from the United Kingdom. And you're right to say that the EU has not implemented what it agreed with the goodwill that we had a reasonable expectation could apply. It has not applied the flexibilities. It has not even recognised animals in the UK as being from the safest countries of all. And as the problem with rabies has always been the continent to us rather than us.
Oh my God, did he really just mention the French and rabid dogs? This guy really does live in another century, doesn't he? I mean, the French might as well go start complaining about our mad cows over in England. And oh my God, this is crazy. And trying to blame the EU for annexing Northern Ireland. We're pushing Northern Ireland away. The EU are not trying to annex Ireland. And just make it clear, every single problem that arises from Brexit is our fault. It's not the EU's fault. Everything was fine before. We're the ones that changed everything and knocked everything down, and we're trying to rebuild it the best we can. It's not the EU's fault. Nothing. The EU can't be blamed for anything. But I don't know, man. I had a little bit of hope for GB News when they had Peter Hitchens on. That was a really good interview, but I guess someone in the higher ups of GB News got a little bit annoyed about that interview and thought it was a little bit too pro-EU, so they've gone back to the classic argument of blame the EU for everything. First, make sure you know that the presenters are just like you. They drink cider, they watch cricket. Blame the EU for everything. And anyone that has been suffering from Brexit, just avoid them. Just don't have any contact with them. Ignore them. Just don't let them on, and everything will be fine. Come on, people. Come on, people of Britain. You're more intelligent than this. You really are more intelligent than this. Don't suffer for these guys' lies. And just look at him. Look at Jacob Rees Mogg. Look at his face. Okay, they say don't judge a book by its cover, but in his case, judge it by the cover. He is an upper class toff. He does not have your interests at heart. He does not care about fishermen. He does not care about the working class in this country. He cares about his offshore millions, and he cares about his cider farm in Somerset. That's all he cares about. He does not care about you. Come on, see through these lies, people, please. Okay, that's my Brexit update for the week. Till next time, take care. Bye bye.